Hi cuties. So a few weeks ago, we were given a store page for the Stellar Blade demo. So as soon as I awoke on that fateful day, I downloaded it, being incredibly excited to check out a game that I've known about for a few years now. Unbeknownst to literally any of us, it was removed 45 minutes later and I never even launched the damn application. After being radio silent and edged for weeks, here we are. Less than a few weeks before the April 26th release date, we got our first real taste of the Stellar Blade gameplay formula, and I have quite a few things to say about it. Let's just be real here, y'all. A lot of the fascination revolving this game is how it's goon bait, okay? The main character, Eve, is, you know what I'm saying? But I want to take a look at the game that they're asking $70 for. Is it really going to be worth the price besides being able to stare at this for hours on end? So, it's developed by Shift Up, a South Korean game studio that started showing this shit off a few years ago now and was originally slated for last-gen consoles as Project Eve. It's now evolved to a current-gen exclusive as Stellar Blade, and can I just say, I absolutely love this simplistic, cool-ass cover art. And look at the vinyl shit too, it's clean as a bitch. Let's start with the positives, okay? I love how quickly they got straight to action in this bitch. The story intro plays, and right after that, you're immediately fighting. Albeit, it's a little hand-holdy, but that's fine. It's really crazy because so many people compare it to Bayonetta, but funnily enough, I believe that's just because they're hack-and-slash games with sexy-ass women. I don't think this feels as floaty and free as something you'd find in Bayonetta, and the obvious comparison is something like a Nier, especially with this little robot companion bastard that you receive later. I don't really want to spoil everything that happens in this intro, but I will say I'm really surprised at how dark and gory it was, and I hope that's a common thing throughout the entire base game because I'm a sick, twisted son of a bitch. When the demo first started, I was like, bro, there's no sprint and no dodge button, but as you progress, you get access to more and more skills, and it seems like the skill tree is flooded with a slew of gameplay enhancements that I'm eager to play around with. There's a gear tab where you can switch fits like this one, which is certainly... Yep. But it's funny because if you're horny enough to equip such a fit, you don't have any protection and will die in like 2 hits. My overall first impression of seeing the main environment of the first level after the brief prologue was, wow, this is deadass Nier Automata. Overgrown vegetation, dilapidated buildings, and of course, robot homie like I said earlier. They actually have these cool little rest areas similar to something you'd see in a Souls-like game or even some shit like Jedi Fallen Order where you spend your skill points, enhance weapons, gain health back, and even switch the dope-ass music in the background. That's another plus. The music is so soothing and impactful, just beautiful piano with singing in the background until you get into a fight where it dynamically picks up. With this now being a PlayStation 5 exclusive, I expected better trigger functions and DualSense capabilities, but I mean, it was pretty much a default video game in that regard. Enemy designs are pretty fucking awesome. They're these weird ass creatures that are super detailed and nasty looking, like if an STD was personified, and I loved slicing them up. Now, if I may, I believe we should start critiquing this game a little bit, and I know it's just an hour-and-a-half long demo, but still, they asking $70 for this motherfucker, and it's valid for me to be wary of a few certain things. So I believe the voice acting is a little lackluster. Granted, I was listening to the English dub, and it wasn't absolutely abhorrent or anything, just kinda stiff, I don't know. Eve herself is pretty much unfazed and lacking emotions given the circumstances of being one of the few remaining soldiers left and seeing everybody die around her. Adam, who is this robot fella, get it? Adam and Eve, is also just kind of like, hello, I am here to help you, hot woman. But it's fine. I'm not expecting Last of Us storytelling or anything like that, but I can't tell if they're going for a satirical approach or if it's a genuine attempt at writing. I'll cut them a little slack, but one thing I am concerned about is the in-between sections where there's parkour, puzzle solving, like finding passwords and shit. Usually, when it comes to hack-and-slash games like Bayonetta, they try to keep these sections very few and far between, but in the demo, about 40% of it is running around, climbing, and even swimming to get to the next area. I feel like the Nier games are able to get away with this due to the fucking incredible life-altering storylines they have, so we just honestly have to see if there's anything of substance in this story. Ooh, and I forgot to say earlier, I played on balanced performance settings and it was super smooth, locked 60 FPS with great graphics. The demo ends off with a pretty badass boss fight, and I gotta say, the finishers are really well animated, and I'm excited to see the rest of them in the base game. However, As I said prior, it is 70 schmackarooskies, and I think based off what we know and what is shown here in this little gameplay segment, I don't know if it's really enough to warrant such a price tag. I love hack and slash games, don't get me wrong, and great JRPGs, but this one is a little worrisome to me. I wish it was around like the $50 to $60 mark, but hey, capitalism. If Sony wants to send me a review code, that'd be nice, but I would be careful pre-ordering this game, unless you're absolutely enamored with this yummy bastard Eve, and you need to be there day fudging 1. For now, I'm gonna reinstall Bayonetta and have a blast, so that's really about it, my yummies. Drop a slash on the like button, maybe a copy of Nier Replicant on a subscribe, and I love you guys.
Bye.